Hello everybody, welcome to another quick video. Now today we've got really poor light. It's been hooning it down with rain for ages and ages, so everywhere's soggy, got essentially sort of midwinter blues going on, but figured it'd be an ideal time. Come out into one of our sort of local woodlands, which is right next to the road, so there's going to be a bit of traffic noise today, but pick out some compositions when normally you wouldn't sort of think of woodland photography, because there's no canopy cover. But we're going to be looking for shapes, we're going to be looking for little bits that sort of interact with the rest of the sort of forest floor and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll take a bit of a wander into the woods now and see what we can find. Hopefully we'll get something interesting. I'm going to say it's been, what, just under a year since we last came up here. When we last came up with thick fog, which would have been absolutely perfect. But it's nice to sit in some different conditions and sort of see if there's something out there that we can actually work with. And yeah, let's go and have a look. So one thing there is quite a lot of up here is moss. Now you can really play with that, especially when you've got sort of flat light conditions. You don't need a lot of light to actually sort of get a decent shot. With that you can sort of pull a bit of background behind it because it's quite messy. But if you sort of stop down something like F4, get a nice sort of reasonably tight crop on it, you can actually then sort of start playing with it and get some bit of interest. So it almost works like sort of its own foreground with a bit of background. It makes you think, oh, what is in the background? Go take a couple of shots because look, a couple of nice little patterns up there, and we'll see what we can sort of find out with it. Look at the condition today. It's flat light. There's no real light coming through at all. So I'm expecting either a lot of high ISO stuff, or I'll be relying on the Sync IS on the 12-100, which is what I'm running today. Give me sort of the results that I'm looking for. Yeah, grab a shot of this now, and I'll pop one up for you. Now something that is quite surprising today is the amount of actual green leaves that we've got going on. There's ferns around here and stuff like that I wouldn't expect it to actually be green at all. Contrast that with like the general sort of bareness of the rest of the trees. It's really surprising to see. But it does mean you can start playing around a little bit with them to almost give you a bit of separation. I spotted a couple of sort of the old sort of brown leaves on the beech trees, the smaller trees, just up ahead that I'm going to try and sort of compose a shot with, using sort of the bright colour of the beech leaf against sort of the green foliage on sort of the woodland floor. I think it might work quite well. Probably going to process it quite hard and actually give quite a sort of painterly effect, I would have thought. That's what I'm going to sort of aim for. But yeah, I'll try it now and see what I can get. So, try a few different compositions, I think, but yeah, I'll pop one up now if it works. Now, one of the other things that generally when you're in woodland you try not to do is get the sky in. When there's no foliage, it's something that's really difficult to sort of avoid, so sometimes you have to sort of play with it. What I found, especially with sort of trees like this, I mean, if I just point you up in there now, you've actually got a bit of shape in sort of the branches at the top, and sort of pulling those in as like a silhouette, you can actually sort of get quite a nice effect from the shot. So done one of those, I'll pop it up for you. It's just little bits that you have to just change your mindset a little bit when the weather's not sort of on your side, but it's still worth getting out. I mean, look at 5 degrees I think it is today, so it's starting to chill down again after what's been essentially 2 weeks of torrential rain and, well, 12-degree temperatures, which for January isn't particularly cold at all. But it's the sort of thing that if you're sort of having a look round, doesn't matter if you think, oh, you're not going to find anything. Get outside, have a bit of a wander around the sort of general woodland. You can pick things out because each season it changes. It looks different to how it would be sort of when spring comes in a month or so time. You can start seeing a little bit coming through. Summertime, this will be completely different. You're going to have big canopy. Autumn, leaf fall, golden colours. It'll always look different, so it's worthwhile coming out, even if you think you're not going to get much at all. I mean, where we are, just wandering up now, just come up quite a steep section of hill, just sort of back down that way. Some interesting patterns, but it's ruined by the fact that the sky doesn't really sort of lend itself to sort of, because you've got that little sort of bit of a horizon there, so it doesn't really work. But if you can pick out the odd pattern, I mean, where we are now, if I just sort of spin you around here, it's reasonably dense, and the sun's just trying to come out up there. So there might be some chance of some shadows that it can play with as well. Might be to have some nice black and white as well, if you can get some decent colorations or sort of something like that, be quite nice. But yeah, spotted a composition ahead which might work. Some nice craggy looking trees and some shapes. So I'm going to try and get a shot for you now. So two things I've noticed about the woodland today. One, I'd forgotten exactly how noisy the traffic was at the road that's literally sort of, well, about 500 yards that way. It's one of the main roads up to the M1, so it takes a lot of traffic, but it seems like everybody with the loud exhaust out today, so might be a little bit noisy. But the other thing I've noticed is the fact that although it's very sort of bleak, muddy, cold, we've got a little bit of sun just coming out, and it's catching some lovely shadows, but you can't really sort of make too much with it. What we've found is it's doing more for the silhouette side of things. So literally sort of shooting towards the sun and actually using that to actually sort of give you a bit of a sort of background and a bit more sort of depth to it. So you're actually playing with the shapes of the tree and the branches and stuff like that. Just almost sort of play slightly abstract, which does seem to be working quite well. A few little birds dotted around as well. Looks like we sort of basically wandered past a long-tailed titnest. They're absolutely everywhere, but we're not coming up with any sort of lenses for that sort of thing today. Literally, I've just stuck the 12-100 on and sort of come for a bit of a wander just to get us out, really. Might do a few bits and bobs a little bit further along. There's a bit of an open field up there. When we came up last year, there was a couple of trees, which, yeah, they might give us a bit of interest. But we're going to carry on wandering now because it's getting a little bit too close to the road for sort of doing the video, but yeah, I'll have a bit of a wander, see if anything pops up, and get a few shots on the way. So I've made it out to the top end of the wood and just taken a shot of these two trees here, which I did last time when it was quite foggy, and I think it might work. But what I've had to do, I had to bump the exposure compensation up by a stop because the background is actually so bright against the shadow on the fields and sort of the light in the foreground. It needed something to bump that up. I'm going to have to pull that back down in post and sort of play with it a bit, I think, just level it out. But it might just work. And so the sun's just starting to go behind the clouds again now, so it's starting to haze up a bit, but it's quite nice because you've almost got that sort of mid-level textures going on with the field as well, with a different light on it. But yeah, I'll pop it up now. It's kind of sort of a combination image that I was looking for. I wanted something that was a bit of silhouette from it, which we've got from the tree, so there's not a lot of detail in the tree, but with having all the lines and the different shadows actually on the field, I thought it worked quite well. So let me know what you think. one thing we really weren't expecting to see today was very, bits of fungi. But I've seen a bit of jelly ear fungus, some early turkey tails. Just been around, just on that tree there, some absolutely amazing fungus with lovely sort of shaped gills and stuff like that. So I grabbed a couple of shots. Probably quite a sort of deep process too. I want to try and really bring a bit of mood out on it. But yeah, amazing to see, especially this early in the year. I mean, yes, we had a mild couple of weeks, but before that it's been absolutely freezing cold. So I wouldn't have expected to see sort of anything like that this early. But yeah, good to see though. Looks like there's not a massive amount around today. There's a few bits and bobs that we managed to pick out, but nothing fantastic, unfortunately. But the section that we're in at the moment, there's some lovely leaf fall around. It's still here, which is crazy, but there's some nice little patterns. I might sort of pick a couple of shots out of there. But yeah, I think the problem we've got today is the conditions were mixed. When we got here, the light was flat. There wasn't really anything going on. It was ideal for sort of picking out shapes. Then the sun broke through a bit, which goes a little bit, but now it's sort of half and half. It sort of ruined the scene a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is. It's what you got to work with, really. But so I'll have a bit more of a wander around. I'll take some more shots, pop some up for you. Obviously, going to be doing sort of a few bits and bobs, fairly local, I think, for the next few weeks. I might even actually sort of do a quick pause again for a couple of weeks, just sort of a few bits and bobs out. We've got a few ideas in the making that are going to take a little bit of planning. But I think they should come off quite well. We're due a cold snap next week, so next weekend might be something quite interesting that we can sort of get out of, but I don't know whether I'll have a chance to get that done and a video out at the same time, so we'll see what happens. I'll put a post on the YouTube community page anyway, so if there's anything that sort of happens in the meantime, we'll have that on there. But yeah, for now, if you've enjoyed this little wander around and some of the shots, please do give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out. And if you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. Helps out no end. I'm getting so close to getting 1,000 subs now. It'd be really handy to break that sort of marker for 2023. If you can do that, absolutely brilliant. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one. Take care.